Hello everybody, welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. So we start quick with the DXY because we are in a ranging market on the weekly at the DXY. So we had here this weekly minus 6080 fib completion. If I take my Fibonacci from the low here till the high, you can see the minus 6080 is sitting here and the sellers are coming in with deceleration here, 1, 2, 3 deceleration candles with that weekly bearish candle close. That's an indication. So there is a higher chance we can go to the downside, which will be aligning with this ascending trend line here. So we can have that first touch, second touch here, and third touch possible. So yeah, that's what I can see. And what we can see is we had this double, so this same highs. So we expect also same lows. We already did that. So we are ranging between these highs and lows. So yeah, that's what I can see on the weekly. If I go to the daily, right now you can see that we are still bullish on the daily. This higher low institutional candle is holding our price up with a clear resistance and support zone. So as you can already see here, this was the weekly previous highs. And what I can see right now, this minus 27 from that head and shoulders on the daily, possible head and shoulders, there we can go to. So that's nice aligning with the zone, and there we can have some deceleration or something. Because we are on the weekly, we have this weekly indicational bearish candle close, and yeah, we can look for bearish entries. So that's what I can see. But yeah, we are still ranging between these highs and lows, so it's very dangerous on the DXY now to trade or for having a clear direction. So my pairs that I have now this week are 7 of them. So yeah, the first one is CADCHF. If I go to the monthly, you can see that we are making this smaller bearish W here, as you can see, with that clear monthly supply and demand zone acting as support, resistance, support, resistance, and again a nice rejection wick acting as resistance. So that's nice to see. We have also this monthly bearish descending trend line. If I go to the weekly, it will be more clear. As you can see, first touch, second touch, third touch for more downside momentum. And we have also the weekly minus 6080 film completion from the low here till the high, minus 6080. This is also the bullish M that was playing out here, so that's nice. That's the pattern has completed. And yeah, we have this bearish candle closes indication, so that's nice to see. And if I go now to the daily chart, you can see that we can have that reversal pattern in the form of a shoulder 1, this head, shoulder 2 with support in the head, which is a clear supply and demand at this zone. So very nice. What we can also see is that we had multiple deceleration days on our shoulder 1. So we can receive that also on shoulder 2 multiple days. So that's the thing we need to be aware of. But our zone of interest is aligning with the 61.80 and 78.60. What we also need to be aware of is that this can be a false break. So this can be our shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. So the false break of the higher low here. So yeah, that's the thing we need to keep in mind, that this can happen too. But the weekly bearish candle close is there and the reversal pattern can happen there. So I will go to the 4-hour now. And what we can see is that I want to have a fib completion here. So if I take my Fibonacci from the low here to the high, we can have that minus 27 fib completion. We can have that deceleration counter to the trend here. That can a nice indication. And we have that kind of bearish W here. So this lower highs here can hold the price down. And every time we tap these lows here, as you can see, we went to the upside, and after that we went back to the downside. So this can happen also here too. So yeah, and my stop loss on this trade, if I have deceleration at the fib completion, because we already had that multiple times on the daily, on the 4-hour shoulder 1 here, deceleration. So we can have that too again here, and I want to have at this fib completion 1, 2, 3, 4 deceleration candles, and then I will take my trade to the downside. My stop loss will be above this resistance wicks here. So yeah, that's what I can see on CADCHF. And the next pair is AUDCAD. If I go to the monthly chart, you can see that we are bearish at the monthly because we broke this monthly higher low here. This is also a clear supply and demand zone acting as support, support, resistance, resistance, and maybe again as resistance, but we are above the orange line here, the break of the low, as you can see. So if I go to the weekly, you can see it more clearer that we already made this natural M, same highs here, same lows. So we can expect the bulls to go to the upside, and we are above that break of the lows of the monthly. As you can see, this was the clear supply and demand zone holding the price up or down. So that's nice to see. If I go now to the weekly has also this weekly bullish candle close as indication that the bulls are present. If I go now to the daily, you can see that we are making a pattern within a pattern, the shoulder 1, this head, possible shoulder 2 with already 1, 2, 3, 4 deceleration candles on the shoulder 1, and what we had here also 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's nice to see that this is doing the same thing, and we have that other pattern, the bullish M, and the possible fake out flag here for more upside momentum, the higher low institutional candle that can hold the price up. So it's a clear supply and demand zone acting as support, resistance, support here. So that's nice, very nice trade. And we are still above this orange break of the low of the monthly. If I go to the 4-hour, you can see that we had this descending channel, as you can see, counter to the trend. And yeah, we are just decelerating counter to the trend. What I can see right now is that we can make this shoulder 1, this head, shoulder 2, institutional candle holding our price up here. So we have also the fib completion from here, the high till the low minus 27 here aligning. So I can take my trade from this point here, or like this on the fib completion, but I will take it on the shoulder 1 region and my stop loss below this wicks here. So this can be a nice trade till the minus 27 4-hour TP. So that's what I can see on AUDCAD. The next one is USDCHF, because I expect that the weekly on the DXY can go to the downside. So the DXY can go to the downside. So on the monthly on USDCHF, we can see that we reverse from this monthly highs. And every time we broke this lower high here, as you can see, false break, again, false break. We closed above, false break, and we can have also this month, this false break with a bearish candle. So that's what I can see. And this was also a clear supply and demand zone in the past. So as you can see, a support, support, resistance, resistance. So a very nice big supply and demand zone. If I go to the weekly now, you can see that we had this weekly fib completion. So from the low here to the high, we have that minus 27 fib completion. We have also that first touch, second touch, third touch for possible more downside momentum, as you can see already. So that's what I can see, very nice. And what I also can see is that we have these same highs here, false break of this highs here, and now we can have that same lows again. What we need to be aware of is that we can have this possible shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2 on the weekly with already the reversal rejection candle actually. So yeah, that's the thing we need to be aware of. But we have the weekly bearish candle closed. The sellers are coming in from that point, from the fib completion. If I go now to the daily, you can see we have a pattern within a pattern, very strong. So we have the possible shoulder 1, this head, shoulder 2 with also support here. So clear supply and demand zone. So, and we have also this bearish W that can hold the price down. So yeah, that's very nice to see. If I go to the 4-hour now, you can see that we are already having some kind of corrective nature counter to the trend. And what I want to see is the fib completion from the low here to the high, minus 27 aligning with the daily zone of interest. Then I want to see, yeah, again, the 4 deceleration candles here, and then I can take the trade to the downside. Stop loss will be above this resistance wicks here, as you can see. So, and we have also the descending trend line here. So if we can come correctively till this zone here, then yeah, I can take the trade with the deceleration. So the next pair is Euro GBP. On the monthly chart, you can see that we had this break of the low here. As you can see, the clear break. We are also making this bearish W on the monthly, so we can definitely go back to the downside on the monthly. So on the weekly, we can see that we had this weekly bullish candle close. And yeah, the only thing also we need to be aware of is this descending trend line. Every time we tap this, we went to the downside, and we are still bearish on the weekly because we have here this highs and these are the lows. These are just the false breaks. But yeah, what I can see also is we made a false break of this low here. So we have that shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2 for possible more upside momentum. And if I take my horizontal black line at this zone and I look back, you can see the buyers kick in very strongly at this zone. As you can see, a lot of buyers kicking in. So yeah, there is a high chance that we can go to the upside from that point. So with the weekly bullish candle close as indication, then I can look further to the daily chart. And what we can see is on the daily, we can make the possible reversal pattern in the form of a shoulder 1 here, this head, and shoulder 2. We have also a possible smaller bullish M here, the bullish M here holding the price up. So that's a pattern within a pattern. And yeah, the clear supply and demand zone at this shoulder 1, acting as support here, institutional candle, support, resistance, resistance, false break, resistance, support, and now we can act as support again here. So that's very nice to see that we have that supply and demand zone there. And if I go now to the 4-hour, you can see that if I take my Fibonacci from the high to the low here, you can see we have that minus 27 fib completion aligning with the zone. So yeah, so I want to see here the fib completion touching and then the deceleration candles 1, 2, 3, 4 for sure. And then maybe, yeah, I will take the trade here or a pattern in the form of a reversal pattern. Shoulder 1 here, head, shoulder 2 for more upside momentum. So that's what I can see on Euro GBP. If I go now to GBPJPY on a monthly chart, we can see that we are at a major monthly selling zone. As you can see, sellers are kicking in here very strongly. Sellers are kicking in here very strongly till this buying region here. So we can have that too here. We are also coming kind of corrective counter with the trend, with the trend. So yeah, that's what I can see. We had also this monthly rejection candle as an indication. If I go to the weekly, you can see we have that fib completion from the low here to the high, minus 60.80 with that weekly bearish candle close as an indication that the bears are sitting there. We can possibly go to this resistance zone again and acting like support here. So because yeah, we are still bullish on the weekly, but yeah, we have that weekly bearish candle close that can go to the downside from there. If I go to the daily now, we can see we can have that possible shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2, and then the minus 27 as our daily TP. So that's nice. If I go now to the 4-hour chart, you can see I want to have here the fib completion from the low here to the high. As you can see, minus 27. And I want again the deceleration 1, 2, 3, 4 candles or a pattern here. So that's what I want to see for more downside momentum on GBPJPY. If I go to the next pair, NZDJPY on the monthly chart, we can see that we had this monthly fib completion from the low here to the high, minus 60.80, aligning here. And yeah, this was the natural M, so this pattern has completed. Same highs, false break, same lows, then the minus 60.80 got tapped, so we can expect also bears to come in. We already seen this monthly rejection candle of that zone. So if I go now to the weekly, you can see that we can have that first touch here, a possible second touch, and then the third touch for more downside momentum. So we already had also the weekly bearish indicational candle close, so that's nice. And if I go to the daily, you can see that we can have that possible shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2, more downside momentum. If I go now to the 4-hour chart, then I can see I want to have maybe a false break of this lower highs here. So if I take my Fibonacci from the low here to the high, minus 27 is sitting here, and we are already rejecting the 61.80. So yeah, if we have here the false break and then kind of deceleration also at this zone, then I can take this trade. So yeah, we will see what will happen there. So yeah, so now we go to the last pair in the NZDCHF. So on the monthly chart, you can see that we broke this monthly lower high here, monthly high, the break of the monthly high. So we are bullish at the monthly, but we are rejecting from this orange line. As you can see, and it's a clear supply and demand zone acting as support, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, with already making the kind of reversal pattern with a double top, shoulder 1 here, double top, shoulder 2 with the bearish W here, with another head and shoulders, smaller head and shoulders, with the shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2 for more downside momentum. So that's what I can see on the monthly, very nice indications. If I go to the weekly, then I can see we have this weekly bearish candle close as an indication that the bears are sitting there, aligning with this institutional candle here, that holding our price down, as you can see. So yeah, if I go now to the daily, then I can see we can have a pattern within a pattern. We have that shoulder 1, this head, shoulder 2 with the bearish W here. So yeah, that's what I can see on the daily, that we can have the pattern within a pattern, descending trend line. And the 4-hour, we can see that we can have that fib completion from the low here to the high. Minus 60.80 is aligning here. And yeah, if we can have their deceleration 1, 2, 3, 4, I can take it, or a pattern in the form of a head and shoulders right here, shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, then I can take it. So that was my SMB for this week, guys. So I hope you have a nice trading week, and see you next week. Bye.